Good evening and welcome to this edition of Election Radar, the last episode before we actually get a result. It will be the 10th of March tomorrow and we'll have the result. And it's very clear and evident from the background, the building that you see behind me, that this is a fight for 403 occupants of chairs right inside this Vidhan Sabha in Uttar Pradesh. But if exit polls are any indicator, then perhaps it's BJP all the way. It's not really, for some of the exit polls say it was not really a contest also, with them giving the BJP 326. There are others who give the BJP around 210, but definitely more than the halfway mark, which is at 202, 203. Is that really so? And if that is the case, is the BJP really invincible in this election? What do the vote percentage have to say? Last time around, the BJP got close to 40%. Will there be a dramatic drop from the 40% to somewhere down to 25 or 24, and a dramatic increase in the Samajwadi Party's vote bank for them to translate it into votes? And then, of course, you have the EVM controversy, which has also been spoken about. Very serious. There has action been taken by the Election Commission. But the point is, the question over here for this discussion, is the BJP really invincible in the BJP as the exit polls say? That is question number one. We're just asking the most basic question on this show. And question number two, are exit polls that reliable? Two simple questions. Because these are the only two questions valid till tonight. Tomorrow we'll have the result and these questions will become irrelevant because we'll have the result. So let's first quickly take a look at the exit poll itself. What do they say? What is the forecast? Most exit polls, in fact all of them, have forecast a BJP win. They're on your screen right now, and this is an average where the BJP has been given on an average 224 to 246, which is a comfortable majority, more than the halfway mark. The Samajwadi Party has done well according to all these exit polls, has definitely bettered their score. In fact, bettered it by about 100 seats, and the average is 148 to 139. The BSP dropping dramatically to 19, between 19 and 11. The Congress between 4 and 9, and others around 3. So that's the opinion poll as well as the exit poll. You can see that there is a slight increase if you compare the opinion polls to the exit polls for the Bharatiya Janata Party from 224 to 246. The Samajwadi Party decreasing from 148 to 139, and BSP and Congress are net losers over here. Now, can opinion polls and exit polls be wrong? Well, West Bengal is a case in point. The most recent underlying fear factor among voters, widespread decline in trust, all of this undermines the confidence in polls. Now, what is the poll based on? It is based on the honesty of the person being polled or being asked a question. Now, what if I'm not speaking the truth? The poll goes wrong. Now, what is my motivation to not speak the truth? One does not know. And that is why exit polls sometimes definitely go wrong. Now, you know that the Panchayat poll results in the UP elections are a strong indicator of trends, according to the Samajwadi Party. The forecast over there was with a 78% accuracy. In 2021 UP Panchayat poll, it showed a close fight between the SP and the BSP, and the BJP, beg your pardon. But then also that begs a question to be answered: is BSP even a factor in these polls? Mayawati says that yes, she's definitely in the factor. In fact, she's forming the next government. The exit polls do not believe so. Now, is the BJP's victory margin so large that it cannot lose the election? The most important question is the BJP invincible in these polls? So in 2017, the overall vote percentage was 14% higher than the next largest opposition. The BJP had 39% plus. Mayawati had 22%, Akhilesh Yadav had 21.5%. Look at the gap. The real question is, how much can this gap widen or decrease? That is going to decide. If the SP says that we have a groundswell of support for us, then will they eat into the vote share of the BJP, and by how much? So if they drop from 39%, how much is that drop going to be? And if the SP gains, how much is that gain going to be? And that is going to decide whether the BJP is going to lose or not. Any party can lose. It just depends on what sort of a wave exists on the ground. And one thing that one can conclusively say, at least by talking to people on the ground, I would call this, stick my neck out and call this a waveless election. There was no wave. There was anger definitely on the ground, but no wave either for the incumbent or against the incumbent. Now, which is why this election becomes very, very difficult. Okay, let's quickly go across to all our guests. KV Prasad, senior journalist, is now with us. Abhishek Sudhir, Samajwadi Party supporter. Seema Kushwaha, national spokesperson of the BSP, has very recently joined the party. Dr. Anshul Avijit, national spokesperson of the Congress, and Chand Prakash Jatav, leader of the BJP. Thank you very much. Mr. Jatav, I would like to begin with you first. Do you feel, or is the BJP, I would say, making the mistake of thinking that it is invincible? Because these dreams were shattered in many polls.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपने काम के आधार पर उत्तर प्रदेश चुनाव में पार्टिसिपेट किया और कहीं भी किसी तरीके का भी कंफ्यूजन नहीं है। हम लोगों ने जो काम किया उसके आधार पर जनता हमें चुन रही है। 35 लाख जिस तरीके से हमने मकान दिए बेघरों को और आने वाले समय में और दिए जाने हैं, शौचालय की व्यवस्था, पेंशन की व्यवस्था, किसानों को लगातार जो है 6,000 रुपये साल का उनको दिया जा रहा है। ये सब चीजें जो हमने वहां के आवाम को दी उसका नतीजा है कि हम लोग आश्वस्त भी हैं और पहले से बेहतर स्थिति में हम लोग सीटें लेकर के आएंगे। पहले हम 323 सीटों पर थे। आने वाले समय में जो कल हमारी जो पोलिंग खुलेंगे, ये रिजल्ट आएगा, तो मैं समझता हूं कि उसमें हम जो है उससे बेहतर पोजीशन में रहेंगे। केवल डेवलपमेंट को चुना है। हमारे सामने किसी प्रकार का कोई अपोजिशन नहीं है। जिस तरीके से समाजवादी पार्टी हमारे सामने मीडिया और दोनों तरीके से उसको प्रमोट किया गया, मगर जनता देख रही है कि आज समाजवादी पार्टी के साथ में कोई नहीं है। उनका परिवार स्वयं खुद नहीं है, उनके पास कोई विजन नहीं है। जिस तरीके से
अब ऐसे तो बहुत सारे लोग बीजेपी से भी छोड़ के गए हैं।
संकेत जी,
no, this is why I asked this question. Is the BJP thinking that it is invincible? Because nobody is invincible in politics. The strongest of people who never thought that they will lose have lost elections. मैं ये सवाल डॉक्टर अंशुल अभिजीत, Dr. Avijit, polls, opinion polls and exit polls have not been kind to your party. But let me ask you this question. Is it dangerous to assume that the BJP is invincible? Haar hi nahi sakti party. I don't know what the result is going to be tomorrow. But is this a dangerous assumption?
We are not assuming that at all. I mean, first of all, to comment on the opinion poll, let's hold our horses, because the entire idea of commenting on an opinion poll is counterfactual, because here you're drawing conclusions about an event which hasn't taken place. You're held hostage to something that hasn't happened yet. So let's wait till tomorrow. The genie will be out tomorrow. All will be made clear. And also, Sanket, I do want to tell you that Bihar and UP in particular are notoriously difficult to predict. As far you pointed out how opinion polls can be error-stricken. Well, in Bihar, in UP, this is notoriously the case. It's infamous for that, because the voter doesn't reveal who he's going to vote for. There are multiple dynamics, multiple layers at work over here. I've seen it myself in Bihar in particular last time round, where a lot of things were predicted. It was a close contest. Here, I think we have to wait again. I think also in the manner in which the models that have been created for opinion polls, they do not, in UP and in Bihar in particular, do not see small swings in vote percentages. So they don't detect that. So you can miss out on many things. Sometimes they do catch the wave, the general trend, but they grossly overestimate the victors. So here I think we have to wait. Our own reading from the ground was, wherever I traveled, I traveled in Eastern UP extensively, was narazgi. There was a lot of anger on the ground that was palpable. We have to see how that anger gets
But here's
transferred
the
into
thing.
votes.
But here's the thing, exactly. That's the main point. Seema Kushwaha, do you feel that all the narazgi that we also, by the way, saw, and people were really emotive and animated with expressing this narazgi, does narazgi necessarily mean a vote against a party? You know, I may be angry, but not angry enough to vote against a political dispensation. Because
संकेत
that's the
सर
only way
मैंने
one can justify the exit polls. Otherwise, there's no justification.
संकेत जी जी संकेत सर मैंने ग्राउंड पर जाकर के काम किया करीब मैंने 23 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में मैंने खुद काम किया है जाकर के बीएसपी की तरफ से सर लोग एंगर भी है और बीजेपी के अगेंस्ट भी वोट कर रहे हैं एग्जिट पोल में कैसे मैं विश्वास कर लूं क्योंकि लोगों ने वोट भी किया है अगेंस्ट में बीजेपी के जितना भी इश्यूज है अगर आवारा पशुओं की बात करें तो उसको लेकर के लोगों का बहुत एंगर था हाथरस केस की बात करें गर्ल्स विमेन सेफ्टी को लेकर के लोगों में एंगर था फार्मर्स ने बीजेपी के अगेंस्ट में वोट किया है लेकिन ओपिनियन पोल जिस तरीके से अगर ये कास्ट वाइज भी दिखा रहे हैं और ये अपने डेवलपमेंट को भी दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं लेकिन वो डेवलपमेंट ग्रास रूट लेवल पे नहीं है चाहे वो इन्होंने अगर बात की है कि हमने फ्री में सिलेंडर दिए तो उसमें फीमेल से जब भी मैं बात कर रही थी फीमेल का कहना था कि 350 में इनका था हिल कर आते थे अब 1100 हो गया है फार्मर्स की बात करें तो उनका कहना है एमएसपी पर इन्होंने प्रॉपर हमारी फसलों को नहीं परचेज किया है अगर हम बात करें विमेन सेफ्टी पर तो करीब 20 केसेस तो मैं गैंग रेप एंड मर्डर केसेस यूपी में जो गर्ल्स के साथ हुआ उसको मैं फाइट कर रही हूं तो ऐसे बहुत सारे केसेस हैं लेकिन एग्जिट पोल पर मैं बिल्कुल भी ट्रस्ट नहीं करती हूं अगर कास्ट वाइज भी देखा जाए सर तो कुछ सीट मैं बता दे रही हूं एक सीट है सैयद राजा करके सीट है जो कि गाजीपुर के पास में है गाजीपुर की जमनिया सीट है जहां पर अगर कास्ट की बात करें वहां पर करीब 80,000 जो है शेड्यूल कास्ट का वोट है वहां 60,000 जो है यादव का वोट है अगर हम इन दो वोट को भी मिला दे रहे हैं और वहां पर जो कैंडिडेट है सैयद राजा सीट पर वो कोई भी ना तो यादव है और ना कोई या सर मैं कंप्लीट कर रही हूँ सर वहां पर जब
Abhishek Sudhir.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm going to come back to you. Seema ji, I'll come back to you.
Sure,
Let me just get in all the views. Abhishek Sudhir. Sudhir, what is your reading? See, the point is, the only way one can justify these exit polls, if one makes that attempt, is that people are angry but not angry enough. Or they still have hope left in the BJP.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's no other explanation.
Yeah, I mean, Sanket, the numbers don't add up. I just want to take two surveys. The two most prestigious ones are MyAccess and CSDS. CSDS has not given a seat projection. CSDS has given a vote share projection of 35%. MyAccess has given both vote share and seats. MyAccess vote share is saying 36%. But MyAccess is saying with 36%, SP is getting 86 seats. And MyAccess again is saying 46% vote share for BJP. So you're telling me that SP is gaining 15% from the last election, and the BJP also is gaining 6% from the last election. Arey bhai, where are these percentages coming from? What this means is, even the Jata vote is coming to SP from BSP. And the common wisdom is the Jata vote has stayed with Behenji. So where is the BSP getting this extra 6%? I don't understand. The numbers simply don't add up. The numbers don't add up. And if these numbers are true, the Samajwadi Party with 36% vote share should be forming the government. The Samajwadi Party has never crossed 30% in its history and has formed the government 4 times. You have a bipolar contest here, so I understand that there is a vote consolidation behind the two main parties.
That time, the vote percentage was very, very equally divided. For instance, you look at 2009 Lok Sabha, the BJP was at 15%. But you look at 2014 Lok Sabha, the BJP was at 42.6%.
Correct.
That figure rose to a remarkable 51% in 2019. I'm talking Lok Sabha.
Yeah, what these exit
polls
now
this is, you know, it's very difficult. The SP did form a government with 29% vote share in 2012. But you don't have such a situation right now. There's massive consolidation.
What MyAccess is saying basically is BJP is gaining 3%, SP is gaining 15%. So where are these gains coming from? Are you saying the Samajwadi Party is not able to get a single percentage point from the BJP. Are we not getting any BJP voters over to SP? And we're getting 36% vote share. Are you saying the BJP is gaining voters and SP is gaining voters, but our gains are not coming at all from the BJP's core vote base? How is that possible? These numbers don't add
जाटव
up.
जी, आपका रिस्पॉन्स.
Yeah. Numbers don't add up.
जाटव जी, और एक आरोप ये लग रहा है कि ये सब इसलिए किया गया है ताकि प्रशासन को ये बता दिया जाए, और ये आरोप है आपके ऊपर, ताकि प्रशासन को ये बता दिया जाए कि भाई अपना जिलाधिकारी के बोर्ड का रंग मत बदलो, जो विपक्ष के जो आइकन्स हैं उन जगह को साफ करना मत शुरू करो, हमको जिताओ. ये आरोप है आपके ऊपर.
नहीं, देखिए, ये तो आरोप इसलिए क्योंकि इनको साफ दिखाई दे रहा है. ये एग्जिट पोल से पहले भी ये समझ चुके हैं कि हम लोग हार रहे हैं. अच्छा. और मैंने बताया ना कि अभी जब आप खुद देख रहे हैं कि 2019 लोकसभा चुनाव में हमारी स्थिति 51% वोट की रही. डेफिनेटली उससे पहले 2017 में हम नियर अबाउट 40% रहे. तो अभी जो ये सिचुएशन है जिस वक्त में आज हम बैठे हुए हैं, हम बहुत अच्छा कर पा रहे हैं. हम जिसे अभी CDS का मैं देख रहा था, उसमें 46% जैसे उन्होंने बताया, मैं समझता हूँ इससे और बेहतर स्थिति है. क्योंकि काम बोलता है, काम किया है, गुंडागर्दी खत्म की है. एक टाइम था जब बूथ कैप्चरिंग के लिए ये पार्टी प्रसिद्ध थी. बूथ
कैप्चरिंग कैप्चरिंग नहीं कर रहे क्या?
अरे वो कब की बात है. अभी देखिए, एक ये सवाल तो आपके ऊपर भी उठ रहा है. अब तो बूथ कैप्चरिंग नहीं, आपके ऊपर ईवीएम कैप्चरिंग का आरोप है. ये इस प्रदेश की ईवीएम, आप मुझे ये बताइए, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है कि कचरे की पेटी में, म्युनिसिपैलिटी के कचरे के ट्रक में बैलेट पेपर मिल रहे हैं, या एक टेम्पो वैन में ईवीएम जा रही हैं. And by the way, the election commission has suspended an officer also, which means there is an admission that there was something wrong. आरोप तो बहुत गंभीर है.
संकेत जी, कचरे की पेटी वाला विषय भी समझ लें.
Why are EVMs on an evening walk in उत्तर प्रदेश?
इसके लिए भी बहाना बनाया है इन्होंने, संकेत जी.
दो लोग वहां पर
कहानी सुनाएंगे आपको. ये लोग
हैं, उनको जो सरप्लस जो मटेरियल है वो डिस्पोज प्रॉपर जगह.
सर झूठ मत बोलिए.
No, there is a process. One moment. An officer has been suspended, which means the process was not followed.
तो नहीं है. और देखिए, वो इस्तेमाल किए हुए या इस्तेमाल होने जा रहे हैं.
संकेत रहे. This is not just Varanasi.
Abhishek Sudhir's response quickly, and then
Bareilly, Moradabad, across the state, EVMs have been compromised. Samajwadi Party workers are camped outside every counting center. From Noida to Balia, every counting center, the Samajwadi Party workers will not sleep till the last vote is counted. Till the last vote is counted, the SP worker will not go to sleep. आखिरी दम तक हम लड़ेंगे. ये लोकतंत्र की बचाने की चुनाव है. आपको इस चुनाव को चोरी करने को हम नहीं देंगे. आपको आप बोलते रहिए, झूठ बोलते रहिए,
गलत कर रहे हैं आप.
Okay. Let me stop for a short break at this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to take a short break as of this moment. We'll continue this discussion after a short break and go to Mr. K.V. Prasad. Please stay with us. Mr. K.V. Prasad, I would like to come to you now. Apologies for keeping you waiting, but these two important questions, Mr. Prasad, what's your assessment? Do you feel that the BJP is really invincible this time around in Uttar Pradesh?
Well, to answer this question first, let's just break it down in a very simple terms. I would look at it this way. There were 312 seats last time. So if one were to discount in a traditional manner, even 30% of the seats that they're going to drop, they'll still be comfortable about 200 plus. And if you slash off 50%, there'll still be 160 plus, 170 plus. I'm just giving a ballpark kind of a calculation, just looking at it because our country is very diverse. The UP is a very big state. State by state, constituency, things change. And this time around, as you also mentioned, all the participants on this show, the factors were varied and different. Anger, as you said, if it is palatable, how much of it gets converted into vote, it's something which we'll have to hedge our bets on. But as of now, it looks BJP is certainly in the driver's position.
Okay, and a word on the exit polls.
Well, that's
do you take them
interesting.
seriously?
Well, as a political journalist, having reported elections for the last 30 years and following it for more than 40 years, I always find it interesting to see the drift, if there is a drift that the poll surveys catch. Remember, election surveys in this country have been very nascent, not more than 20, 30 years. And they are yet to be perfected because we have every community, caste, subcaste that continue to dominate and dictate political. How much of that drift is actually being caught by the pollster? Is the sampling correct? Is the plus minus error of judgment correct? And as you also pointed out, if at the exit point of time, what if the person who was asked the question does not be upfront on what he did or she did? So it's always very iffy. And today, as we are talking, was one of the fellow panelists did mention the CSDS post-poll survey. Now that's from 70 constituencies, and the gentleman's company, which I think he was part of your Hindi television show a little while ago, where he says it was a academic exercise that he did. So it's very interesting that the kind. And also to quickly add to one point you mentioned in your conversation, 2014 BJP got X number of percentage of votes, 40 plus, but got 71 seats. 2019 they got almost 50% of votes, but the the number of seats dropped in Lok Sabha. So I don't see how do you correlate between the percentage of votes accumulated and into the conversion of seats. It's also possible because
a very interesting point. So your vote share may increase, but does that necessarily mean, because we follow a first past the post methodology, will it necessarily convert into seats? But at the end of the day, the point is that whatever exercise we are doing right now, this debate, we will know all the answers in a few hours. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. That brings us to the end of this broadcast, but news continues on the other side. Stay with us.